Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have forever and always believed that Disney's most cherished characters should be celebrated, and that's why I've loved creating these videos, over 700 of them, to inspire Descendants of Zombies fans. Because Descendants of Zombies fans feel very passionate about Descendants of Zombies. That is something that I never have been in denial of, and I've been very appreciative of. And I've just wanted to celebrate these moments with everybody who may have been a fan of Descendants of Zombies, who believe in it so much. If you are somebody who has a passion when it comes to collecting Descendants of Zombies dolls, perhaps you're really excited about getting that one Descendants of Zombies doll that has eluded your collection for the entire year this Christmas, and you're going to be running down in your living room in front of your Christmas tree hoping that at least one package has that Descendants of Zombies doll with inside of it, and you're going to be so excited when you open it up this year on Christmas. If you are somebody who is very passionate about collecting things like the Descendants of Zombies dolls, the hoodies, the sweaters, and the t-shirt, and everything else that comes with it, I want you to continue to follow your passions, because there is no more of a rewarding feeling than realizing that you yourself have touched the hearts of so many fans of Descendants of Zombies, and you've had the chance to share in these moments with people who have drawn inspiration from characters who at one time and forever and always have been your favorite characters from the Descendants franchise. Guys, I can't tell you how much I miss Ruby Rose Turner being a part of the Descendants franchise as the character Bridget, because she gave so much life and presented so much of an argument of how much further kindness can really take a person in this lifetime. It's forever and always been because of Ruby Rose Turner that I like to believe that I became a better person, because she really allowed me to put my life into perspective. So too did a character like Kylie Cantrell, because she was just overflowing with emotion. And sometimes while her emotions may have gotten the better of her, I love talking about Kylie Cantrell because I love giving a chance to Kylie Cantrell more than any other YouTube creator had ever done before, because I've gone further than most YouTube creators when it comes to talking about these franchises that you guys have grown up around, that you become familiarized with, that you can really identify with. And that's what makes being a YouTube creator for me worth it every single time, at the end of every conversation that we have, and every time I push the stop button when I finish my recording. The one thing that I've always and forever hoped when I get up from this chair is that some way or somehow I've managed to touch the hearts of some people who are fans of Descendants of Zombies, who are going to hit my subscribe button and forever and always hit that like button, because they appreciated moments that I shared with them about the Snow Angels music video, or Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premiere, and Freya Sky's upcoming world tour, which I'm incredibly excited about, which I hope many of you have gotten tickets for. Unfortunately, because I'm not a United States resident and I live here in Canada, I haven't had the chance to attend any Worlds Collide tour dates or any Freya Sky concert tour dates, but that doesn't mean that I won't have the chance to be presented, to have the chance to do that for each and every one of you, because the one thing that you have deserved to see in these crowds is a dedicated critic with so much heart like each and every one of you bring to these events. Because that's the one thing that I saw at the Worlds Collide Tour this summer that was truly undeniable, was how much heart and how much dedication you brought to these venues for the 43 arena dates that had been scheduled every single time. Now, while every venue may have never been sold out, there were thousands of people, whatever the number of people that were attending the Worlds Collide Tour each and every single night throughout the summer of 2025 amounted to. There were thousands of people with so much heart that outshined every critic and every amount of criticism that you guys watched on YouTube. And I never wanted to be a part of that. What I wanted to be a part of was having the chance to have fun with each and every one of you. Because if you can't have fun, what's the point of living? You guys deserve to have fun, and you guys deserve to have these moments put on display in a glass case that you will never ever forget, because putting these moments in a glass case is something to be celebrated. That means they're celebrated. And I think that your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars have forever and always been allowed to be a part of the argument of being the greatest of all time, to be presented that award and that distinction at the D23 Expo, which is something I would love to be a part of. I would love to be the host of that night that your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars eventually become honored. Because you guys have felt a part of something from the very beginning. You have forever and always deserved to be a part of something special. And I've wanted to be a part of something special and to share in these experiences with each and every one of you. Even with how many thousands of people I've met on this YouTube channel because of these videos I've uploaded, the course of 700 and over 90,000 channel views having been recorded and dropped, I still have so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies to meet. And that's something I look forward to. That's something I take great pride in, because if you can't meet the fans of Descendants of Zombies, again, your purpose as a YouTube creator is forever and always been defeated. So many people try to talk about Descendants of Zombies and they put up probably 100 views or 1,000 views for at least one video they upload. Well, when it comes to continuing to talk about Descendants of Zombies, they think to themselves, why am I doing this? One video got 1,000 views, but my next video on Descendants of Zombies never seemed to amount to 1,000 views or got as much attention as my first video. It's all about how you present your content and how people feel intrigued. You've not only just got to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but you've got to present a story and an argument to convince the person watching your video, who ranges from all different age demographics, as to why you're a fan of Descendants of Zombies and why you yourself felt inspired. I mean, I could sit here and I could have all these edits put into a video telling you what I liked about Descendants of Zombies, what I didn't necessarily was too struck on about Descendants of Zombies, but then somebody's just going to close off my video. Nobody's ever going to take me seriously or listen to me. I know I'm the only guy on YouTube who's moved into a residence near a soda plantation and a chemical plant, and I've been living my life in fear of that soda plantation and that chemical plant simultaneously exploding, because it's just like glue. But because I'm the only one crazy enough to do it, that's what made these videos so fun, and how I have this unique ability to tell this story better than anybody else ever could, because I'm a really good storyteller. I can remember a Christmas morning waking up and getting a Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo bundled in with The Lion King or Aladdin on Super Nintendo back in 1993. And that wasn't yesterday. I know that feels like forever ago, and many of you are too young to remember Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis when they would be bundled in with an Aladdin or Lion King video game. But the thing was, when you woke up Christmas morning and you opened up that package and you saw a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo bundled in with a Lion King or Aladdin video game, these were super graphics. I mean, if there was ever anything to feel real and to be a part of, it was the Aladdin and Lion King bundle, which I was really excited to get in 1994 on Christmas morning. Now, many of you are going to be running down over your stairs on Christmas morning in your living room, hoping to get that one Descendants of Zombies doll that has eluded your collection forever and always. And I also know a thing or two about that, because years ago I was very passionate about collecting Gargoyles action figures or pro wrestling action figures. Now, pro wrestling action figures were very difficult to come by, very hard to come by years ago, because there were so many different variations of your favorite wrestler. If, say, John Cena had an action figure, well, there was the John Cena action figure of his wrestling gear, then there was the John Cena action figure with his hat and his You Can't See Me t-shirt where he did this kind of thing, and then there were electronically enhanced action figures that actually had action moves. And then you get the wrestling ring, and I remember I had this gigantic wrestling ring, and I just had the basic wrestling action figures. But you know something? I would spend hours beating my wrestling action figures up inside of this wrestling ring, hitting them with cheers and breaking off their arms. But it was the most fun that I ever had in my lifetime. So as a result of this, I just wish that I could have been a part of this generation where I could have collected these dolls, where I could have grew up in your age demographic being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because it's unlike a feeling, unlike anything else that you've ever experienced in your lifetime. So as a YouTube creator, what makes your videos far more effective than others is you've not only got to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but you've really got to understand your audience and appreciate your audience for who they are and what they feel. Because there are so many different emotions that a person feels about Descendants of Zombies. Because it's one thing to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but when you can talk about Descendants of Zombies and tell this story in so many powerful ways and touch the hearts of thousands of people, and you know that you've gotten away with touching the hearts of thousands of people, that's what makes you have such a rewarding feeling at the end of every conversation. Because every single time that I push that stop button and I get up from out of this chair, I can only hope that my video is going to reach out and touch the hearts of thousands of people who may have been a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Because I will be honest with each and every one of you. I have forever and always considered this an honor and a privilege to meet thousands of people of Descendants of Zombies. Because I know what it's like to collect trolls years ago, and they were huge dolls years ago. They aren't these small versions of the dolls like Poppy from Trolls that you can collect now, and the Justin Timberlake version of the troll, I forget what his name was. These trolls were huge, and I remember what it's like getting a troll as part of your Christmas gift every morning, or a 101 Dalmatians plushie, because there were over 100 of those to collect, and I'll tell you the story about that later on tonight if you return to join me later on tonight when I upload my third and final video, because I've had a lot of fond Christmas memories. And you know, some of my greatest Christmas memories came from having the chance to meet each and every one of you and sharing your history of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies and hearing your stories. One of the most exciting things about this year's Christmas celebration was having the chance to come home, sit in front of this microphone, and turn on this camera and talk to you about Descendants of Zombies. You know, I felt about the music, the powerful script, how it touched my heart, how I could share my stories with you because you had hundreds of stories of your own about the Halloween costumes, about the Descendants of Zombies dolls, all the merch that goes with it. And I have to be honest with each and every one of you. You guys are the most incredibly dedicated fans to who and what you love. If you guys love, say, Malachi Burton, you guys are diehard about Malachi Burton. Nothing can ever come between you and Malachi Burton. Nothing could ever come between you and Freya Sky. And I have to agree with each and every one of you because I think that Freya Sky is the most talented, gifted person in the world. And I think if there ever was a chance to take on somebody, it would have to be Freya Sky. To say that I'm really excited about her world tour in parts of London and the United Kingdom is really an understatement. Because every single time Freya steps out onto the stage in the upcoming months, in 2026 and beyond, I'm going to be supportive of it. I'm going to be sitting right here reviewing it and telling you with an open heart and an open mind how I feel about it because there's no better way to perceive every video that you ever upload than by doing it with an open heart and an open mind because until you can do that, then you really don't have to wonder if you're touching the heart of somebody because when you know that you're touching the heart of somebody with an open heart and an open mind with never knowing what you're going to say in the process, that's when you know you've accomplished your goal as a YouTube creator. There's more to just recording a reaction video within 7 to 12 minutes. You guys have really been forever and always meant and been deserving of feeling as if you're a part of something special. And you deserve to have hope for that foreseeable future. Because so many people have forever tried to keep that door closed on you for Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 happening. Don't ever believe somebody saying they're running out of supernatural characters to have involved with the Zombies franchise because they're doing anything but that. There is so much of a history that goes with supernatural characters and so much of a chance to present new storylines. And that's the one thing that I've never ever wanted any of you to forget. I've wanted you to celebrate these stories having everything to do with vampires and werewolves and aliens and zombies. Did I forget anything? Because there is so much left to go. What about trolls? What about goblins? What about unicorns? Think about it, guys. Can you imagine having a CGI'd unicorn and seeing Freya Sky's character Nova have the chance to ride a unicorn? I've always wanted to ride a unicorn because I always thought that unicorns were beautiful creatures. I've also thought mermaids were beautiful creatures. And I think that if Freya Sky had a unicorn, can you imagine having a bundled doll with a unicorn as part of your Descendants Zombies doll collection? I mean, there's so much of a possibility of a chance to create forever and always remaining with Descendants and Zombies. Because I think that even as silly as a concept of Freya Sky having a unicorn to ride on that was magical with a different kind of name that could define this unicorn, like how, of course, Maximus was always defined as Rapunzel's horse and one of her greatest friends in Tangled, or Olaf was the defining character that really represented kindness when it came to Elsa and Anna and Frozen and became one of Elsa and Anna's best friends, and they were friends forever and always. It's because of moments like these that makes being a fan of Descendants and Zombies worth it in the end. And if you can have these conversations with people just to give them even the slightest chance of hope ever existing, that never seems to fail to bring tears to my eyes, then you know that you've touched the hearts of somebody, because every child deserves to believe that Zombies 5 is going to happen. They don't deserve to be left in the dark, which Disney has always developed a consistent habit of having done because they love leaving us in the dark. But as the old analogy has always presented to us, it's never that you're afraid of the dark, you're just afraid of what you can't see. So because we're uncertain about the future of Descendants of Zombies, I think some of us are uncertain about it, and we don't deserve to be left uncertain about it. I think that you can leak so many things, and when it comes to people posting things on their X accounts, they shouldn't feel so restricted for Disney for leaking a set prop, or, you know, if I was the writer and producer of Descendants of Zombies, I would love for stuff to be leaked, because the only thing that will come from stuff being leaked are great conversations. Because I've always believed, this may have everything to do with how I've always believed that this conversation should never have to be over, because we still have a long way to go. But I've always loved having this conversation with so many fans of Descendants of Zombies while offering encouragement that Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 is coming, regardless of what the subtitle is. Wicked Wonderland is a beautiful title. It presents an opportunity for more consequences of time travel and having altered the fabric of time, more characters being presented than ever before. I, for one, would have loved to have been a part of the Kingdom Come Cup games because I think I would have kicked a whole lot of butt in the Kingdom Cup games. I would have went on to become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies character. And just to let you guys know, I would forever and always love to be immortalized, become immortalized as an action figure or a doll or even a teddy bear for Descendants of Zombies with my action phrases from my radio career, inspired by my radio career and my career as a YouTuber, included probably 15, 20 action phrases. I would love to be able to sit behind a microphone and CGI a character for Descendants of Zombies or be an actor in Descendants of Zombies to make it the best Descendants of Zombies movie you guys have ever seen, because you guys have forever and always deserved dedication. And you have seen a lot of dedication from Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, so there is no place in any conversation having anything to do, or there's never been any room for any criticism towards your favorite stars, because more of a chance deserves to be taken on them than perhaps ever before. And I've loved being here to experience this with each and every one of you, because every moment that I ever had the chance to experience, I've been thanking fans for Descendants of Zombies for forever, for allowing me the opportunity to have been a part of these moments. Because when it came to reviewing Descendants of Zombies, I just wanted to post the best reviews possible. And I just forever and always wanted to be a part of it with each and every one of you, because these moments have forever and always held a very special place in my heart, because these were moments that I got to share with each and every one of you. Because I don't care who you are. I don't need to know you to know that you're a good person or not. I know that you've had a moment that's defined you for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies for what must feel like forever. And I get that. I think it's so cool that so many wonderful people have felt inspired by Descendants of Zombies. So many wonderful people look forward to new videos being posted about Descendants of Zombies. Unfortunately for many of us, we can't find Descendants of Zombies videos that we can feel confident in about how people try to, lead us on to believe something that's never been accurate about Descendants of Zombies. With me, what you see is what you get, and that's what makes these videos so authentic and very different from everybody. If I say that I was really excited about Christmas morning and opening up a Sega Genesis that was bundled with a Lion King or Aladdin video game with 10 action levels in it, which wasn't very long, you could beat the game in probably an hour and a half to 2 hours if you knew what you were doing. Fortunately enough, there weren't people that weren't really knowing what they were doing when they were playing it for the first time on a Super Nintendo, because it was very difficult to maneuver your fingers on a Super Nintendo controller. It's hard to believe that those Super Nintendos are actually going for $750 plus now, because they're antiques and they're not being produced anymore. But I remember just being so excited to have had the chance to be a part of whatever I was a part of. I had the chance to grow up as a millennial, which means I was born from the years 1986 to the year 2000. And to say I made the most of every opportunity of being a Disney fan, eventually becoming a fan of Descendants of Zombies, moments that have led me to this specific moment in time in my lifetime, it was so fun. It was just so fun to be a part of it. I had the chance to grow up as a millennial. I had the chance to grow up in the 1990s, which was an era that Kylie Cantrell became particularly fond of. She dreams of having the chance to go back in time and live through the 1990s. So let's think about it here for a moment. If Kylie Cantrell dreams of going back and living through the 1990s, then that's a story in its own right for Red and Chloe. Have them travel back to the 1990s. Meet people who inspired us to be a fan of the 1990s, like the Backstreet Boys. And I know that sounds really ridiculous, but when you really think about it, if she loves the 1990s so much, have a story inspired by Descendants characters based off the 1990s. I say this because there has forever and always been a chance to create something special for Descendants of Zombies fans for us to be a part of. And the Worlds Collide Tour, and Leg 2 is just one way of looking at it. I would love for Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour to happen, by the way. But there is so much of a chance to create so many wonderful moments, even with how many moments we have created and we have been a part of. This story never has to be over. So too does this conversation never have to be over. And having said that, I am really excited to be a part of this unforeseeable future with each and every one of you, because the exciting thing about this future is we never know what's coming next. This was an old analogy that one of my friends used one time when we went to see a movie at the local theater. I wasn't so excited about the previews for the movie, but he said in conversation, the previews are the most exciting part of the movie. And I was thinking, this guy must be crazy. And it was freaking mine. And then he looked at me and he said, the previews are the most exciting part of the movie because you never know what's coming next. And as crazy as I thought that sounded, and he was, the more that I thought about it, he was right. So every single time we see a trailer for Descendants of Zombies that's actually official, apart from these AI trailers, it should give us more of a reason to be excited about it, because we never know what's coming next. Having said that, guys, thank you so much for having watched this video. Thank you so much for having made this YouTube channel the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world. because we still have a long way to go, and we have many more conversations like this to have, which is why I can talk about Descendants of Zombies for hours and seem to be the only one that can, apart from these diehard fans who have never quit on the franchise. Thank you so much for allowing me to have come into your life, to have represented you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies, and thank you so much for watching this video for however long you have, because it really helps my YouTube channel, and I can never seem to say thank you enough. Guys, this story nor these conversations never have to cease to exist, so we're going to keep these conversations going for as long as we possibly can. Having said that, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you are probably going to want to think about doing that and getting it out of the way right now, because we still have so much of a conversation to have and to really celebrate with thousands of fans of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched this video, having made me a part of your life, because it's been a chance and an experience in my lifetime that I know I will never ever forget, because this story is far from over and we still have a long way to go.